Become unrecognizable in 1 week. Not by changing your face, your clothes, or your place, but by changing your mind. Stoicism teaches that real change is quiet. It happens inside, where no one is watching. Day 1 begins with awareness. You stop living on autopilot. You notice how often you complain, how quickly you react, how easily your mood is controlled by people and events. You do not judge yourself. You simply observe. A Stoic first sees the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Day 2 is about control. You remind yourself of one rule: some things are in your control, and most things are not. You stop wasting energy on what you cannot change. Other people's opinions, the past, sudden problems, delays, disrespect, you let them go. You focus only on your actions, your thoughts, your effort. Day 3 is discipline. You wake up on time. You do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. You eat with moderation. You speak less. You stop seeking comfort all the time. Stoicism teaches that comfort weakens the mind, while discipline strengthens it. Awareness is the first step to change, because without seeing clearly, nothing truly shifts. Most people live their days on automatic mode, repeating the same thoughts, reacting the same way, making the same mistakes, then wondering why life never changes. Stoicism teaches that the mind must wake up before life can improve. Awareness means noticing what is happening inside you, not just outside you. It means watching your thoughts instead of blindly believing them. When you become aware, you start to see how often emotions control you. Anger appears quickly. Fear decides your actions. Desire pulls you toward comfort. You begin to notice how small events steal your peace. A delayed reply, a harsh word, a minor failure. Before awareness, these things rule you. After awareness, you see them as passing moments. You do not fight them. You simply observe them. Awareness also shows you your habits. How you start your morning. How much time you waste. How easily you avoid difficult work. You see how often you choose comfort over growth. This is not about blaming yourself. Stoicism is not about self-hate. It is about truth. And truth, even when uncomfortable, is freedom. Once you are aware, excuses lose their power. You can no longer say, "That's just how I am." You realize that many of behaviors are choices, not destiny. Awareness puts responsibility back in your hands. And with responsibility comes strength. A Stoic trains awareness through reflection. You pause during the day and ask yourself why you reacted the way you did. You look at your thoughts like a watcher, not a prisoner. You ask whether your reaction helped or harmed you. You begin to see patterns. The same triggers. The same weaknesses. The same unnecessary suffering. Awareness teaches you the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. You see how much energy you waste trying to change people, events, and outcomes. You notice how little energy you give to your own character. This realization alone can change your life. When you see clearly, your focus shifts inward. With awareness, emotions no longer surprise you. You feel anger rising, and instead of exploding, you recognize it. You feel fear approaching, and instead of running, you study it. This pause between feeling and action is power. It is the space where discipline is born. Awareness also brings humility. You realize how often you were wrong, how often ego guided your choices, how often pride blocked learning. A Stoic is not ashamed of this discovery. He welcomes it. Because awareness is not weakness. It is the beginning of mastery. You start to notice your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself, the negativity, the exaggeration, the constant worry about things that may never happen. Awareness allows you to challenge these thoughts instead of obeying them. You stop treating every thought as a command. As awareness grows, you become harder to manipulate. You see when others try to provoke you. You see when emotions are used against you. You stop reacting on impulse. You choose your response carefully. This calm presence changes how you move through the world. Awareness does not make life easy. It makes it honest. You see pain clearly. You see struggle clearly. But you also see your strength clearly. You see that you can endure more than you thought. You see that peace is possible even in chaos. This is why awareness comes first. Without it, discipline fails, goals collapse, motivation fades. With it, even small actions become meaningful. Awareness turns ordinary moments into training. Every reaction becomes a lesson. Every mistake becomes information. Every day becomes a chance to improve your mind, your behavior, your character control what depends on you, release the rest. This single idea can remove a heavy burden from the mind. Most suffering comes from fighting reality, from demanding that life behave according to our wishes. Stoicism teaches that peace begins when you clearly separate what is yours to control from what is not. Your thoughts are in your control. Your choices are in your control. Your effort, your discipline, your values, your response to events are in your control. Everything else exists outside your authority. Other people's actions, opinions, moods, the past, the outcome of your hard work, sudden changes, loss, and chance do not belong to you. When you confuse these two areas, frustration grows. From morning to night, people exhaust themselves trying to manage what they cannot own. They want respect from everyone. They want appreciation every time they give effort. They want life to be fair at all times. When these expectations are not met, anger and disappointment follow. A Stoic does not live this way. He removes false expectations before they can hurt him. Releasing what is not in your control does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop attaching your peace to things that can be taken away. You still work hard, but you accept that results are never guaranteed. You still care about people, but you accept that they may not always understand you. This mindset protects your inner stability. When something goes wrong, awareness returns you to this principle. You ask yourself one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, you let go. You do not argue with reality. You do not replay the moment again and again. You accept the situation and redirect your energy toward your next action. This practice takes discipline because the ego wants control over everything. The ego believes that worrying will prevent bad outcomes. In truth, worry only steals the present moment. Stoicism teaches that calm action is more powerful than emotional resistance. By focusing only on what depends on you, your mind becomes lighter. Decisions become clearer. You stop blaming others for your mood. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You act where action is possible and remain calm where it is not. This principle also changes how you deal with people. Insults lose their power because someone else's words are not yours to manage. Praise does not inflate you because approval is not something you command. You remain steady in both criticism and admiration. This balance builds quiet confidence. Releasing control also reduces fear. Fear often comes from imagining future outcomes you cannot prevent. When you accept that the future is uncertain and always has been, you stop trying to predict every result. You prepare your character instead. You become ready for whatever arrives. Life becomes simpler. You wake up focused on effort, not reward. You measure success by your discipline, not by applause. Even in failure, you remain strong because your worth is not tied to outcomes. This mindset turns challenges into training. When obstacles appear, you do not ask why this happened to you. You ask how you can respond with reason and strength. You stop resisting life and start working with it. Control what depends on you is not a slogan. It is daily practice. It requires constant reminders. Each time you release what is not yours, you reclaim energy. Each time you focus on your own actions, you build character. Over time, this way of living creates a calm, grounded presence that cannot be shaken by external events. Discipline builds a strong and steady mind. Without discipline, motivation fades quickly and emotions take control. Stoicism teaches that a stable life is built on consistent actions, not temporary feelings. Discipline is the ability to act according to reason, even when comfort, fear, or desire tries to pull you away. A disciplined mind does not wait to feel ready. It understands that readiness comes after action, not before it. Each morning becomes a test of character. You wake up and choose effort over ease. You choose structure over chaos. These small choices may seem unimportant, but they shape the mind over time. Discipline begins with the body because the body influences the mind. You train yourself to wake up on time, to eat with moderation, to move regularly, to rest properly. When you can guide your physical habits, your mental habits follow. Stoicism values simplicity because excess weakens self-control. A steady routine creates inner order. When your days are organized, your thoughts become clearer. You are less reactive, less anxious, less scattered. Discipline removes unnecessary decisions so energy can be directed toward meaningful work. The disciplined mind does not chase pleasure endlessly. It understands that constant comfort creates dependency. When life becomes difficult, the undisciplined mind collapses. The disciplined mind adapts. By choosing voluntary discomfort, you prepare yourself for unavoidable hardship. Discipline also shapes how you speak. You learn to pause before responding. You avoid complaining. You do not speak just to be heard. Words are used carefully, with purpose. This restraint builds respect and self-command. Emotional discipline is equally important. You do not allow anger to decide your actions. You do not let sadness define your identity. You feel emotions, but you do not surrender to them. Stoicism teaches that emotions are signals, not rulers. Through discipline, you stop seeking shortcuts. You accept that progress is slow and often invisible. You focus on daily effort instead of quick results. This patience creates resilience. Even when results are delayed, your commitment remains unchanged. A disciplined mind becomes predictable in the best way. Others may change moods daily, but you remain consistent. This consistency builds trust in yourself. You know that you will do what needs to be done regardless of circumstances. Discipline strengthens self-respect. Each completed task, each resisted impulse, each quiet victory adds weight to your character. You stop needing validation, because your actions confirm your worth. This strength is not loud. It does not seek attention. It shows itself in reliability, calm, and endurance. Discipline allows you to face pressure without panic and success without arrogance. Over time, discipline turns into identity. You are no longer forcing yourself to act a certain way. You simply live according to your principles. The mind becomes steady because it is no longer pulled in every direction by impulse and emotion. In moments of stress, discipline provides stability. When others react, you respond. When others quit, you persist. When others complain, you adjust and continue. This quiet strength becomes your advantage. Discipline does not remove difficulty from life. It removes unnecessary suffering. It creates a foundation that holds firm under pressure. With discipline, the mind becomes trained, focused, and unshaken, capable of enduring hardship, maintaining clarity, and acting with purpose in every situation. Silence protects your power and peace. In a noisy world, most people feel the need to react to everything. Every comment demands a response. Every opinion feels like a challenge. Stoicism teaches that not every thought deserves a voice, and not every situation requires your words. Silence is not the absence of strength. It is control over it. When you speak less, you observe more. When you observe more, you understand better. Silence gives you space to think clearly instead of reacting emotionally. This pause is where wisdom lives. Many conflicts grow because words are used without restraint. Anger speaks quickly. Ego speaks loudly. A Stoic learns to slow down. He chooses his words carefully or chooses not to speak at all. This self-restraint keeps small problems from becoming large ones. Silence also removes you from unnecessary battles. You do not need to defend your choices to everyone. You do not need to explain your path to those who do not respect it. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your time and energy. There is power in letting others misunderstand you. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every false opinion needs to be challenged. Stoicism teaches that your character is proven through actions, not arguments. Over time, reality speaks louder than words. Silence protects emotional balance. When you speak impulsively, emotions lead the conversation. When you remain silent, reason has time to step in. This control prevents regret. Many words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Silence keeps you safe from unnecessary damage. In moments of insult or disrespect, silence becomes a shield. By not reacting, you deny others the satisfaction of controlling your emotions. You show that your peace cannot be taken so easily. This calm response often unsettles those who seek a reaction. Silence also deepens self-awareness. When the outside noise fades, you hear your inner voice more clearly. You notice your thoughts, your fears, your desires. This inner dialogue becomes a source of guidance. Stoicism values this inner clarity over external approval. A quiet person often appears stronger than a loud one. Words used sparingly carry more weight. When you finally speak, people listen. Your presence feels grounded and deliberate. This quiet authority is built through restraint, not force. Silence helps you avoid promises you cannot keep and opinions you do not fully understand. It keeps you from speaking out of insecurity or the need for validation. You stop talking to impress and start acting with intention. In relationships, silence creates depth. You listen more. You understand others better. You respond with thought instead of impulse. This measured communication builds respect and trust. Silence also strengthens patience. You learn to wait. You allow situations to unfold without interference. Not everything requires immediate action. Some answers arrive with time and observation. Through silence, you become less reactive to praise and criticism. Compliments do not inflate you. Insults do not break you. You remain steady because your self-worth is not tied to constant expression. Silence does not mean withdrawal from life. It means choosing when to engage. It means protecting your inner world from unnecessary disturbance. By mastering silence, you master your reactions. By mastering your reactions, you protect your peace and preserve your power in a world that constantly demands your attention. Hardship is training, not punishment. Stoicism teaches that difficulty is not sent to break you but to shape you. Most people see struggle as something unfair, something to escape. A Stoic sees it as a teacher. Life does not promise comfort. It offers chances to build strength. When hardship arrives, the first reaction is often resistance. The mind asks why this is happening and looks for someone to blame. Stoicism changes this response. Instead of asking why, you ask how. How can this situation make you stronger? How can it improve your character? This shift in thinking turns pain into purpose. Hardship reveals what comfort hides. When life is easy, weaknesses remain unnoticed. When pressure increases, truth appears. Patience is tested. Discipline is challenged. Fear shows itself. These moments are not failures. They are information. They show you where growth is needed. A Stoic does not seek suffering, but he does not run from it either. He understands that avoiding discomfort creates fragility. By facing difficulty willingly, you build resilience. Cold strengthens the body. Effort strengthens the mind. Delay strengthens patience. Rejection strengthens independence. Training through hardship begins with acceptance. You do not deny reality. You do not pretend pain does not exist. You acknowledge it without letting it control you. Acceptance does not mean liking the situation. It means recognizing that resistance only adds unnecessary suffering. Each challenge becomes a test of values. Will you act with honesty when it is costly? Will you remain calm when provoked? Will you continue working when results are slow? Hardship forces these questions and demands real answers through action. Stoicism teaches voluntary discomfort as preparation. You choose small difficulties on purpose. You wake up earlier than required. You push your body a little further. You limit excess. This training builds confidence. When real hardship comes, you are not shocked. You are ready. Hardship also teaches gratitude. When you experience lack, you appreciate what you have. When you face struggle, you value peace. This perspective reduces entitlement and increases contentment. Pain has a way of sharpening focus. During hardship, trivial concerns disappear. You become clear about what truly matters. This clarity guides better decisions and stronger priorities. Through repeated challenges, fear loses its grip. You realize that you can survive more than you imagined. Each difficult moment endured becomes evidence of your strength. This confidence is earned, not imagined. Hardship also humbles the ego. It reminds you that control is limited and effort is essential. This humility keeps arrogance in check and opens the door to learning. The Stoic mind remains steady in both success and struggle. It understands that ease and difficulty are temporary states. Neither defines your character. Only your response does. Training through hardship builds inner independence. You stop relying on perfect conditions. You stop waiting for life to become easy. You act with strength wherever you are. Over time, hardship stops feeling like an enemy. It becomes familiar. It becomes part of the path. Each obstacle becomes a chance to practice patience, courage, and endurance. Through this practice, the mind grows stronger, calmer, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. Hardship is training, not punishment. Stoicism teaches that difficulty is not sent to break you, but to shape you. Most people see struggle as something unfair, something to escape. A Stoic sees it as a teacher. Life does not promise comfort. It offers chances to build strength. When hardship arrives, the first reaction is often resistance. The mind asks why this is happening and looks for someone to blame. Stoicism changes this response. Instead of asking why, you ask how. How can this situation make you stronger? How can it improve your character? This shift in thinking turns pain into purpose. Hardship reveals what comfort hides. When life is easy, weaknesses remain unnoticed. When pressure increases, truth appears. Patience is tested. Discipline is challenged. Fear shows itself. These moments are not failures. They are information. They show you where growth is needed. A Stoic does not seek suffering, but he does not run from it either. He understands that avoiding discomfort creates fragility. By facing difficulty willingly, you build resilience. Cold strengthens the body. Effort strengthens the mind. Delay strengthens patience. Rejection strengthens independence. Training through hardship begins with acceptance. You do not deny reality. You do not pretend pain does not exist. You acknowledge it without letting it control you. Acceptance does not mean liking the situation. It means recognizing that resistance only adds unnecessary suffering. Each challenge becomes a test of values. Will you act with honesty when it is costly? Will you remain calm when provoked? Will you continue working when results are slow? Hardship forces these questions and demands real answers through action. Stoicism teaches voluntary discomfort as preparation. You choose small difficulties on purpose. You wake up earlier than required. You push your body a little further. You limit excess. This training builds confidence. When real hardship comes, you are not shocked. You are ready. Hardship also teaches gratitude. When you experience lack, you appreciate what you have. When you face struggle, you value peace. This perspective reduces entitlement and increases contentment. Pain has a way of sharpening focus. During hardship, trivial concerns disappear. You become clear about what truly matters. This clarity guides better decisions and stronger priorities. Through repeated challenges, fear loses its grip. You realize that you can survive more than you imagined. Each difficult moment endured becomes evidence of your strength. This confidence is earned, not imagined. Hardship also humbles the ego. It reminds you that control is limited and effort is essential. This humility keeps arrogance in check and opens the door to learning. The Stoic mind remains steady in both success and struggle. It understands that ease and difficulty are temporary states. Neither defines your character. Only your response does. Training through hardship builds inner independence. You stop relying on perfect conditions. You stop waiting for life to become easy. You act with strength wherever you are. Over time, hardship stops feeling like an enemy. It becomes familiar. It becomes part of the path. Each obstacle becomes a chance to practice patience, courage, and endurance. Through this practice, the mind grows stronger, calmer, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. Commitment turns effort into identity. Many people try for a short time and stop when motivation fades. Stoicism teaches that real change does not come from bursts of energy, but from steady dedication. Commitment means deciding once and living by that decision every day, regardless of mood or circumstances. At first, effort feels heavy. You must remind yourself to act with discipline. You must resist old habits. You must push through discomfort. This stage is uncomfortable because your identity has not yet changed. You are doing something new, but you do not yet see yourself as that person. Commitment removes the option to quit. When quitting is no longer available, the mind adapts. Excuses lose power. Complaints become pointless. You stop negotiating with yourself and start acting automatically. This is where effort becomes natural. Stoicism teaches that character is built through repeated action. Each time you choose reason over impulse, you strengthen your identity. Each time you act according to your values, you confirm who you are. Over time, these actions shape your self-image. When commitment is strong, discipline no longer feels forced. You do not wake up asking whether you feel like doing the work. You simply do it. Just as you do not debate whether to breathe, you do not debate whether to act with integrity. Commitment also protects you from external influence. Praise does not distract you. Criticism does not derail you. You are guided by principles, not approval. This independence creates inner stability. Many people wait for motivation before committing. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Commitment creates motivation. When you show up consistently, progress appears. When progress appears, confidence grows. This cycle strengthens identity. Setbacks test commitment. Failure, delay, and fatigue appear to challenge your resolve. A committed mind does not see these as signs to stop. It sees them as part of the path. You adjust, learn, and continue. Commitment simplifies decision-making. You no longer waste energy choosing between discipline and comfort. The choice has already been made. This mental clarity reduces stress and increases focus. Through commitment, effort becomes invisible. Others may see consistency as talent or strength, but you know it is practice. Identity is no longer something you talk about. It is something you live. A committed Stoic understands that results are secondary. The primary goal is alignment with values. Even when outcomes disappoint, character remains intact. This makes commitment unbreakable. Over time, identity shifts. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You are no longer trying to be calm. You are calm. Actions flow from identity instead of willpower. Commitment also builds trust with yourself. Each kept promise strengthens self-respect. Each abandoned excuse reinforces confidence. You become someone you can rely on. This identity extends into all areas of life. Work, relationships, health, and mindset align with the same principles. Life becomes coherent instead of scattered. When effort becomes identity, change becomes permanent. You do not return to old patterns because they no longer represent who you are. The Stoic path is not about dramatic transformation. It is about quiet consistency that reshapes the self from within.